There have been some recent legal changes in how we, as realtors, are to work. And if you know me, you know that we're kind of type A when it comes to paperwork. I like to think of myself as a documentation superhero. In the olden days, like last month, it was presumed that the sellers would pay for the buyer's agency representation. Some people said, that's not really clear how the buyer's agent gets paid. I mean, the buyer takes out a larger mortgage to pay for the house so that the seller has enough to cover the compensation for their agent, who then cuts off a chunk to the buyer's broker, who then pays the buyer's agent. So yeah, no more of that. Now it's expected that each client pays their own realtor directly, just like a listing agent negotiates their compensation with the sellers. Now a buyer's agent will directly negotiate their compensation upfront with their buyers. Oh no, won't this mean that the buyers have to come up with more money for closing? Maybe. Just like a seller offers incentives like a pre-inspection or a home warranty when they list their home, they can also offer to contribute to the buyer's broker compensation. When looking at the vast majority of the properties on the market when the law changes went into effect, the sellers and their realtors already probably have it in their agreement that a portion of the compensation goes towards the buyer's realtor, so nothing really changes. As new homes come onto the market, the sellers will need to decide if they want to contribute to the buyer's compensation, and if so, how much. I know, if this sounds complicated, don't worry, we got your back. Before we show our buyers any homes, they will know how much, if any, the seller is offering. Some surprises are good, but surprise costs are not. An experienced realtor will help their buyers decide if they'd like to build the additional compensation as part of their offer, or if they're okay with the difference being added to their closing costs. Does this change how most realtors work? Yep. The majority of realtors aren't used to discussing compensation with their buyers at all. It was a moot point, like a cow's opinion. The majority of realtors aren't used to having their buyers sign any documents until they were going to put an offer in on a house, even though, by law, there were always two forms that were always required to be signed. Does this change how the Katina.Hunter team works? Nope. Since 2007, we've always presented the consumer notice and broker agency agreement to our buyers before showing any homes. We've never shied away from paperwork or being upfront with how we get paid. We've been working this way for almost 20 years, before it was even required. Just call us the paperwork trendsetters. Oh, I don't care if you call us the documentation superheroes or the paperwork trendsetters, just call us. You know that we are always here and happy to help.